Hello everybody, my name is Kiara, aka Kiaras.bookshelf, and welcome to my channel. For this week's video, I am so excited because I am going to start the Poppy War trilogy. If you watch my 25 books I want to read in 2025 video, then you would know that I included this series, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned that I was pretty intimidated by it. So I figured now would just be the perfect time to just jump in head first and see what the hype is about. I've heard that R.F. Kuang's books can be pretty dark, but I also heard that some of them have fantasy elements, and I think that's really exciting. So I am just going to jump into the series. I really hope that you guys will enjoy this video, and if you've read the Poppy War or you plan to, please leave that below in the comments because I love talking to you guys. Okay guys, so I am officially on chapter 8 of the Poppy War, and I'm actually really surprised to say that I am loving this a lot. It's definitely different than what I'm used to reading, but I think that's what makes it so exciting. So this story is about main character Rin, and she currently lived with a foster family who own a convenience store, but they also smuggle drugs, specifically opium. And in exchange for opium, Rin finds out her family has put her in an arranged marriage. So in order to get out of this, she decides to apply to a really prestigious military academy, and she actually ends up getting in. This academy is called Singard, and something that's crazy is literally the minute she gets there, she faces discrimination because her skin is a little bit darker than the other people there. Her provenance is considered very poor in comparison to the wealthier families that live at Singard and get to go to school there. Apparently, like, they're very rich and they come from military backgrounds and just like very, very high respected positions. So the minute Rin gets there, they are looking down on her, and the whole thing is very, very cliquey. One thing that I really like about this story is how hard Rin trains at this academy to try to catch up with everybody else and pretty much fit in. It kind of reminded me of Violet's experience in Fourth Wing and how she pretty much had to prove herself to everybody. Also in this story, 3 characters are introduced that I believe are going to be important, but I'm not sure. I know the first one's name is Jang, I think, and he's pretty much going to be like her mentor. He's currently like teaching her about the history of the Poppy Wars and helping her to catch up on her studies because she immediately started failing and it was very bad. He's also teaching her how to fight, and I think one cool element of this school is because it's a military school, they are always training, and whether or not you lose a battle really can make or break your spot at this academy. So I like the high stakes of it all. And one character that I personally think will be really important to the story is a man named Atlan. Apparently he goes to the academy, but nobody has seen him around, I guess. Whenever Rin would ask about him or hear about him, she would pretty much just be told that he was like the best at everything and that he literally was like just the top student that everybody wanted to be. So I really hope there will be a lot of scenes with Rin and Atlan coming up in the story. I feel like that'd be really exciting. I really hope that one day he can become a friend to Rin, because it seems like right now her only friend or ally is a guy named Kate, who is literally the only one that's nice to her and doesn't like try to size her up or judge her. And I definitely want to point out that I did have one one surprising experience when reading this book, and that was when Rin realizes that she gets a monthly cycle, and she pretty much goes to like the nurse, destroys her womb, and just decides that she doesn't want that to be a problem anymore. And I thought that was so crazy because she was literally like out of class for a week and the school year like just started or something. It was just like really gruesome. But I don't know, at the same time, the fact that she had no hesitation about possibly not having children, like it just really threw me off, because she immediately thought if she were to go home from this military academy, she would have to go through this arranged marriage. So that was the only part that pretty much surprised me. And so I'm definitely going to keep reading this today, and I will probably update you guys maybe tomorrow. I'm not really sure, but I'm just like really loving the story so far. I definitely will say that I'm not intimidated by it anymore. I am a little bit scared of what's to come, but also very excited. I also want to just take a moment to just show you guys these tabs because they're really coming together and I think they look so nice. Okay guys, so it is time for an update because I just reached chapter 15 of this book, and I can definitely say this is one of my favorite parts of the story because so much war has happened, and I feel like this is kind of what I've been waiting for like the entire time. So at the start of this story, Singard gets evacuated and everyone is forced to join the military because the Nikara and I believe the Federation of Mugen are like at war and things are getting really bad, and now their empress needs them to help fight in this war. I really like this part of the story because we get to see Atlan at the academy. Atlan was just rumored to be like this war god, not literally, but like he's just one of the best fighters that has ever came out of the academy, and you can definitely see that now. He's pretty much like the second in command of this war next to like the queen, I guess. The only thing that I don't really like is the magical elements. I feel like are personally getting in the way of the war stuff, which I find I'm actually more interested in. Rin ends up having like these fire powers that get activated when she's angry, and when everybody realizes this, they decide to use her as a weapon in this war, which she doesn't really mind, but I don't know, I feel like it's just very random. And apparently Atlan is the only other person who can do this. I believe it's something about like channeling a phoenix, which is kind of like an ancient god that pretty much like takes over their body when they call on this god to help them fight. So I am going to keep reading, and I'm really excited about it because I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to chapter 22. That is the chapter that I'm the most scared to read. This is when some of the trigger warnings that are found online about the story kind of start to surface, and so I'm very like, I don't know, intrigued in a weird way just because I don't know what to expect. I don't actually know all the trigger warnings, but I just hear that things can get like really gory, so I'm definitely going to read that and just, I guess, try to mentally prepare for the unknown, and I'm going to check back in with you guys when I do that. Okay, so I'm here to give you guys like a quick check-in. I'm not done reading this book at all, but I just reached chapter 21. I completely underestimated how like gruesome everything would be. As I'm saying this, I'm just in a state of shock. And I feel like this is the only book that I've read so far that has shocked me in this way. At least that's a fantasy book. I think the only other book that shocked me to the point where I was like speechless and I really was just disgusted was A Little Life. I like the fact that people would warn me about this chapter. It was a lot. So I think I'm going to take like maybe a 20 or 30 minute break from reading, and then I'm gonna come back and try to finish this book. Hopefully, honestly, I am going to try to finish this book today. I think if I finish this today and start, I believe the second book is The Dragon Republic. If I can start that either today or tomorrow, I will be in happier spirit. If you plan on reading this book, just look up the trigger warnings and things like that, please. It's just a lot. So yeah, I'm going to get back to this. Okay guys, so I have officially finished The Poppy War, and I have a lot of thoughts and theories about what's going to happen in the next book and maybe even for the rest of the series, and I'm really excited to like talk to you guys about that. So my favorite part of this book was when Rin and her friends go after this monster called a Chime, I think that's how it's pronounced, and I thought it was really cool because it was described to be like this really gruesome creature that has, I don't remember like if it was like a human face or an animal face, but it would just go around killing people and eating them, and somehow it had like got unleashed into the world. The whole thing was like very chaotic, but I loved it because it was like so action-packed and it was very high stakes. So I definitely hope that in the second book there will be a lot more like world building in that sense. I want to see more creatures. I want to see, you know, more fighting with things that aren't human, just because I feel like that would be a nice little break between all of like the dark and gory stuff that I'm sure is going to continue to happen in this series. And one cool thing that I like about the ending of this book is that Rin was made the new commander and Atlan is going to like step down. I'm really excited for this because I think this is setting up Rin's revenge arc on the Empress, because she has pretty much like set them up when they started the war, and it was just so gory and gruesome because the Empress literally was like nowhere to be found to help them. If she hadn't have done that, all of the mass destruction and the deaths and just like all of the torment that people went through in this book, it wouldn't have happened. And I definitely can see that Rin is going to be a menace. Like I can just tell she's just like ready to fight, and I don't think Atlan is going to be able to calm her down. So I'm actually going to jump into the Dragon Republic right now. I literally could not wait to start this book, and it definitely is going to be like the same length. Honestly, it looks a little longer than the Poppy War, and I'm not complaining about that at all. I am just really excited to see what's going to happen, and I'm just really excited to take you guys along on this journey with me. So I really hope that you guys are enjoying this vlog so far. If you are, like, definitely leave a comment. I definitely love to talk to you guys about this. If you read the Poppy War, if you plan to, let me know. What did you think? So with that, I'm going to jump right into it. Hey everyone, so I just reached chapter 12 of the Dragon Republic, and I just want to say that I am loving this a lot more than the Poppy War. I really like that this story takes place right after the events that happened in the Poppy War, with the Empress pretty much taking credit for saving the city when she literally didn't do anything. And I really like that because this book really cuts to the chase with Rin's revenge arc that she's going on. She immediately decides that she wants to go after this queen, and she's willing to pretty much do anything and everything to kill her. Atlan died in the last book. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but now Rin is the new commander, and I feel like a lot of people are questioning whether or not she's fit to lead them. But I will say this has nothing to do with the revenge stuff with the Empress. It actually has to do with Rin's opium addiction that is like really bad in the beginning of this book. Rin's opium addiction gets so bad to the point where like she literally feels like she can't call on the Phoenix all the time anymore, just because she feels like she constantly has to be smoking it. And like a lot of people are just questioning whether or not she should have been chosen to kind of like run the army. And I feel like a lot of people wish that it was like Kate or literally just anybody else, but there's kind of nothing they can do about it now. So there's just a lot of reluctance with everyone, and Rin can definitely tell. One thing that I think is really cool that happened in the beginning of the story is that Rin ends up meeting like a pirate warlord type woman named Mog, I think that's how you pronounce it. She pretty much ends up teaming up with Rin, and Rin is going to like be her assassin. I was really excited for this storyline because I wasn't really sure how she was going to be able to pull off being like a part-time assassin secretly while also trying to get revenge on this Empress. But it turns out I didn't even have to worry about that, because like not even 10 pages later, Mog ends up betraying Rin and literally tries to like bomb the ship or like attack their ship somehow, and it was like chaos. It was ridiculous, and honestly I don't know how Mog didn't end up like getting killed by someone in Rin's army. But it was crazy because they were overseas, and I believe they were like shooting things at them, like flaming arrows and stuff like that. Thankfully no one died, but it was just ridiculous, and I honestly feel like it genuinely shocked me. And the very last update that I want to give you guys about what happened in these pages that I read is that Rin ends up meeting with the Empress. And I don't think I told you guys her name, but her name is Dani, and pretty much Rin tries to attack her and fails miserably. It's actually kind of crazy. I don't know if Dani was like expecting it or not, but like when Rin tries to like charge at her, Dani pretty much starts using like fighting moves, and she's just like really prepared. And I think it catches Rin off guard because she doesn't have as much energy as she used to in the academy, and this is really just because of her opium use. So Dani's a lot faster, she's stronger. I honestly don't know how, but Rin ended up escaping unharmed, and so far Dani hasn't went after her. I definitely feel like she's going to get her eventually, maybe towards the middle of the story, and I think that would be really cool. But for now, Rin's kind of off the hook, and I don't know how I feel about that. But overall, I am loving the story so far. I think it is, like I said before, really action-packed, and I'm just excited to see where the story is going to go. So I am going to continue reading this. I think my plan is going to be to maybe read like 100 pages. I don't know, but I will keep you guys updated on that as I continue. Okay guys, so I am not done reading yet, but I did just reach a really important scene in this story, and I just feel like I just had to talk about it. So pretty much, like, Rin is I guess, hallucinating, and she's like seeing Atlin in the spirit world. And this scene is actually really important because I feel like this is where she finally gets her closure. When Atlin died, everyone took it really hard, but I feel like Rin took it the hardest because she looked up to Atlin literally so much, and it was really sad actually. Like, she just had no choice but to compare herself to him because that's literally what everybody else was doing. Every time Rin was able to call on this fire power, or every time like she would try to help the commander run the army, like everyone was just constantly like, you know, Atlin did it like this, Atlin did it like that, he was just so much better than you, you don't know what you're doing. And I feel like she in a way was starting to both resent Atlin but feel really bad about the situation at the same time. And literally in the spirit world, this is when they have a conversation where Atlin says, "Why would you mourn me? You barely knew me." And Rin says, "You're right. I loved an idea of you. I was infatuated with you. I wanted to be you. But I didn't know you then, and I'll never really know what you were. I'm finished wondering now, Atlin. I'm ready to kill you." And because he's already dead, she means this both metaphorically and kind of in a way physically. I don't know. It's kind of weird to explain. She pretty much is just saying that she is just done with all of it. And I'm actually really happy and excited to see where this will take Rin, especially because at first her opium addiction was tied just to the war and all that stress, but now I feel like it's a mixture between the stress of the war but also the stress of being compared to Atlin. So with that, I'm just going to keep reading and I will check in with you guys when I am ready to give my official update. Hello everyone. So after a month or something, I don't even know, a couple of weeks of reading this book and going through a horrible reading slump, I finally finished it. I finally finished The Dragon Republic. Holy crap, so much happened in this book and I have so many theories for the last one, and I literally just like don't know what to expect, I guess. So around, I think, like 300 or 400 pages, Rin and Kate end up seeing this witch shaman so Rin could get help with the phoenix stuff. She ends up like binding Rin and Kate's lives together. But the downside to this, and something that I think is going to be really important in the next book, is that if Kate dies, Rin dies. And so I think that's really interesting. And also I noticed at the end of this book too, at one point Rin felt a bunch of pain. I don't remember what part of her body it was, but it turned out that Kate was like getting tortured. So that's a factor too now. Like they literally feel everything. And I honestly feel like there could have been a better way to get this phoenix out of her. That's what ended up happening. And so I am just really excited to see how they're going to navigate not dying in the next book. Like, I just feel like that's a really interesting concept. Now, other than Kate, I want to talk about Nezha because he ended up like coming around. In the first book, he was like her enemy. I remember I mentioned at some point they were kind of like academic rivals, and they even ended up like getting really close and formed a friendship. But huge plot twist, he ended up stabbing Rin in the back, and I actually mean like literally he stabs her in the back, and it was honestly like very shocking. It completely got me because I really didn't see it coming. I know this isn't a romance book, but I did find myself shipping Rin and Nezha and Rin and Kate. Like, I don't know, I feel like I was just doing it to like give my brain a break from all the war stuff. So I was like genuinely upset when this betrayal happened because I'm like, well, now I can't ship you guys anymore. Like, why would you do that? And another thing that happened is that Rin ended up getting a really bad hand injury. I think she ended up like actually breaking her wrist, or it was like something with her hand where it was broken and like she can't even like hold a sword anymore. So I am wondering like what she's going to do now, because she's also fled Visara's like army, so like everyone is pretty much a fugitive at this point, like Rin and all of her friends. So I feel like there's just a lot at stake. There was a lot of build up for the last book, and so I'm just really excited to start that one. I plan on starting The Burning God either tonight or tomorrow, but I don't know when I'm going to start vlogging it. I think I might not vlog it at least until like Saturday. It's like Wednesday, so that's not too bad. I don't know why I thought binging 3 600-page books in one video would be a good idea, but here we are, and I'm not stopping this vlog now, so I just really hope that you guys are enjoying it. So with that, I will check in with you guys when I am ready to just jump into The Burning God. Okay, so I just want to say this book is so boring to me. Like, oh my gosh. I have been trying to read this book for maybe like 2 weeks, I think, and I literally haven't really got far at all. Like, I got to like the middle of the book, and I feel like every time I pick it up, I just cannot read it because it's like just so boring and slow to me. And so after giving it a lot of thought, I have decided to DNF it, and I'm actually like kind of sad about that. I think I'm really just sad because I dedicated this whole vlog to the Poppy War, but like I just feel like I can't force it. I feel like if I keep going and force myself to keep reading, then you guys would be able to just tell that I'm not enjoying it, and I really don't want to do that because I really like that I was enjoying the other 2 books. This is just supposed to be for fun, and sometimes you gotta DNF a book when you're not vibing with it. It sucks that I am DNFing the last book in a series. I've definitely done this before, and it doesn't get any easier. I just don't feel like this story was really like compelling compared to the other 2. I think the only thing I liked about this book was just how like unhinged Rin was in the beginning of the book, but like I feel like everything started to slow down as Nezha started to like just become like the big bad villain, and there was just a lot of like repeating elements with the war stuff, and I just feel like nothing I was reading was just getting my attention, I guess. And so I just want to say that I definitely think the second book in this series is my favorite, and then it'll be the first book. It kind of feels like bittersweet just to be like ending this vlog here, but I don't know. I feel like I've tried. I've been reading the series for like 2 months, and I feel like once I get to this point, it just starts to not be fun anymore for me. So yeah, I am just going to end this vlog here. I hope that you guys enjoyed the rest of the vlog because I really did put a lot of like work into it. Please stay tuned for my next couple of videos because I plan on reading a brand new series, and I just have a lot of really fun ideas for you guys. I've been kind of slow with like uploading recently because of this, but hopefully as I start reading other books, I can kind of start like uploading more frequently again. I definitely hope that can happen. So with that, I am going to end the vlog here. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Kiaras' Bookshelf. Bye.